Oh, wait, we're a bit quick. We're a bit quick. We're trying to get in there before we've even gone live. We're a bit quick. We are live. Yeah, I thought I would just give you a bit of a a bit of a post-run review. Now, yeah, my GoPro was active, and I had a little harness around. So I had a harness, I had my GoPro, and I wasn't sure about this because doing a run with a GoPro for the first time, and I'm thinking, I tried it out. I had tried it out, and I was quite surprised because I'm jogging away, and my stomach's not particularly slender, slender than most, but it's the camera's giving some pretty good wobble on it, and I'm thinking, this is a test. It's not going to work, is it? And I came back and I played the video from the GoPro, and I thought, that's bloody good. It's really clear. I mean, like, really clear. And it was weird because it chops off around the edge so that it looks like it's stationary, and it really does look stationary. The GoPro 12 is even better than the GoPro 11. Only just, and you just about see the difference, but not a great deal. But yeah, if you want a GoPro, go for the GoPro 11. It's got a little bit of different software on it. The 12, it gives it more stability. But I tell you what, the 11 is bloody good. So I did the trial on the 11, and it was absolutely solid. And it's moving around, and I can see it. I'm running, and I can see the thing wobbling, and I'm thinking, this GoPro's going to be. There's going to be pictures that are going like this, because I haven't set it to see that. You can set it to look at the horizon and keep the horizon dead there, and then it sort of everything else just gets cut off if it moves around. Great, but I thought, well, I don't want that because I could be, running around corners, up hills, down hills. Don't make it. So I didn't want to do that. So I didn't set the horizon on, which means that the whole picture is being monitored as to where it is and how much of a gap does it need to chop off. It's got a pretty good. It obviously has a pretty good wide angle, because that training run, I came out, and I remember thinking, that was actually amazing. It's almost like the camera's stationary, and you're just sort of rolling it along wheels, and the only thing you can see the distance moving like this, as if it's just sort of just adjusting things slightly, and you can see it adjusting, but only if you're really concentrating on it. But it's really odd. I mean, go and see the Gosport half marathon Can You See Yourself video, because I put the entire video raw onto the internet. It took, well, one pro Milliclip, the Clip Champ, said that it was going to take 18 hours to download. 18 hours. So I went on to what are we choosing? Oh, DaVinci. Yeah, we chose DaVinci. We chose DaVinci, and I used that because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, DaVinci is best." So I tried DaVinci, and it did it in about 3-4 hours, I think it was. So no, it must have been about 4 because I went out shopping and then came back. So yeah, but I had to leave it and come back, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine. It did it. It went no problem at all. For ones that length, so if you're doing a run yourself and you think, well, yeah, we could do that. The battery power only lasted just under 1.5 laps. So it lasted about 6.5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, it wasn't. It was about 10 miles. it was just under 10 mile. It was 9.5 mile it lasted. Because I remember we mentioned the 9 mile marker, and we go up a hill and then it cuts off. So the battery lasted 9 mile. Oh dear Lord! So the battery lasted 9 mile, and we were doing about up to that point, we were probably doing about 8 minutes per mile, just under 8 minutes per mile. So it wasn't too bad. Not really. It's got just over an hour's time then, hasn't it? Which is not bad at all. That's 50 down to there. So yeah, 50, 60. So yeah, a good 70, 80 minutes. It probably about 70 minutes, something like that. But it went really well. But you've got to think about the battery, like battery time. There are things we can do, and I will probably try them out, i.e. reduce the frame rate. So we reduce the frame rate, and what I can do then is I can use DaVinci is good because it can adjust the frame rate, and then it can create a video for YouTube that can be used very well on YouTube, but you're not taking up the power on the GoPro quite as much, because you're not doing. I mean, we're on about 30 frames a second there, but I think if we did it an awful lot less, we'd probably be able to do extend the life a bit. And then wanted to. I made sure that everything turned off, and it was just videoing, but everything's turned off. So I didn't put that bit on because I thought that would be a bit naff. So I said, like, okay, turn everything off, let it go dead, and just video, so that we're using less power. Frame rate, I say I could reduce that. I'll probably try that first and then see how long that lasts. See, I'd like it to last the full 2 hours. I don't think I'm going to, well, I'd like to do the run in an hour and 45, and I'd like it to last an hour and 50. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I think we're going to have to just be able to stop and press the button and carry on. Perhaps at a water station, for instance. You get to a water station, you go click, grab your water, have a drink, run off to the next water station, and then click it again, and you sort of do the next stage. That's probably what we'll end up doing. I've got a plan for another half marathon somewhere else, middle of next year, a bit more warmer weather, and hopefully that'll be better, because then we can we can do that. We can stop, and we can click the button, and we can get all of it. Because what I ended up doing, it died on me, beeped as I was going up the hill, and the one and only hill. We got to the end, and I thought, oh, okay, we're at the end. And can I just get another minute or two out of this to say we've finished? We didn't do that well, but bit of an explanation, and I did. It managed to turn on, and it managed to videos a little bit, a minute it was, and click off, and that was it. So it did really well. So as far as the GoPro is concerned, it's a big thumbs up. Absolutely brilliant. The GoPro worked fine. Do now, if anybody's listening to this and they're thinking, do we use the GoPro? Do hang on. So do hang on, because I have got the I thought I had the the actual body panel. It is somewhere. There's an important point, though. An important point right now. This, as you can see, is nice and 90 degrees. Yeah, that is 90 degrees. When that slides into into the holder, it's holding it 90 degrees, looking straight out where you're running. This actually comes with the belt, the harness. Don't use the one that comes with the GoPro. Now, I just want, if anybody actually does watch this on replay, it is actually quite important. There's actually a difference in the top. There's a difference, and when you actually put the one from when you put the one from the GoPro on, it's got, if I can get it back in, it's got a different angle on the top. And you think, well, okay, I mean, they've designed it, so GoPro have designed it. It's a better angle, isn't it? Unfortunately, I put it the wrong way around. No, I haven't. Unfortunately, when you put the one on from the GoPro, it sits like that. It sits differently. It sits at a more downward angle, and actually, that's actually the wrong way around. So it sits at the wrong angle, and it points downwards, which means that as you're running, it's pointing towards the floor, which I found annoying in the test, because that meant I was running along, and all the time the camera was pointing downwards. You weren't seeing the sky, and you weren't seeing where you were running quite as well. So here you can have it nice and upright. It will go back. It will go back all the way to a nice 90 degrees. Whereas if you run it with the Garmin, it's more like that, which is, as you can see, it's actually pointing downward slightly. So that's the issue that I had with the GoPros. So the actual GoPro one is this is from the badge top. So this is specifically for the harness, and it has a rounded top so that we can hold it 90 degrees to where you're running. Really good. So if you're going to run with a GoPro, make sure you don't use the GoPro clip that goes into the harness. Use the one with the harness, because it has a slightly different top edge. And to be honest, I would always use the one from the harness, because the GoPro one points the camera downwards, and I'm not going to ever be using the camera to point downwards. And if I did, I could use that one and just angle it and rescrew the thread in. So do try it. Absolutely amazed by it. Now, the training for this, I had an amazing time training with this. I really did. We started off 2 years ago, and I did 2 hours 9 minutes. And I was almost walking over that line. I really was. I started off at about 7 minutes per mile, and I finished at about 12. Just totally wrong, wasn't I? Totally wrong. I asked around on the start line to see who I could drag along with. But I chose some woman that decided to flipping bomb off from Romford Harriers, I think it was. She bombed off, and afterwards the two blokes that was, we should have told you. She went, oh, she usually goes off too quick. Oh, thank you. So I just shouldn't have done that. But the second time, I did 1 hour 50. 1 hour 50. What did I do? 1 hour 56, I think, something like that. 1 hour 56, something like that, and it was actually quite good, and I enjoyed it. Didn't go off too fast. However, the wind was blowing me by 1 step forward, 3 steps back, because we had a named storm come through. Um, Having said that, I probably couldn't have done much faster than that. I remember trying to get a good pace of 8 minutes of about 8 minutes 20. I was trying to get constantly, and I did it for half of the race, half of the half marathon, and it worked well. But then the wind really took hold then, and I just couldn't fight against the wind, much as most of the people in the race couldn't. So, why am I saying this? Because I've been trying to improve on that time, and that meant I needed to try and get to about 1 hour 46, and then hope that I would take off some time from this 1 hour for 56. I finished in about 1 hour 52, I think it was. I can't remember now. It was a few minutes slower, a few minutes quicker. And I was happy because, and I tell you why. I had an injury. I had a really quite a medium pull of the left hamstring. Now, I managed to get that sorted after just very light zone 2 running. So I wasn't doing anything strenuous. I tried a tempo run and did about 100 yards. I speeded up to where I see how fast I could do, and I did the tempo run for about a couple of minutes, or no, 5 to 10 minutes. And I thought, no, I know it's in the background. It's not. I'm not pulling it. I'm not hurting it, but I don't want to continue because I don't want to do it too. We'll stick to zone 2. So I stuck to zone 2. Within a couple of weeks, it had gone. And about a week and a half before the race, it came back in the same leg, the left leg, and it was really quite mild. And I'm thinking, I can't do great training now, but I'm in the last week. Yeah, I have 2 more days, and I'm in the last week. So I decided it's going to ask me to slow down anyway. So, and I do less training. So that's what we did. We just followed the Garmin training, did less training, zone 2 anyway, less days training, less effort, and we got to the weekend. Now, I got up on Sunday and I felt fine. I knew that the left leg was still grumbling, I think is probably the best way of putting it. It was letting me know that it was still there. It was letting me know the hamstring wasn't quite fully fit because injuring it 10 days before you go on the race, darn it. Now I could have said no, I'm going to stop. But I've been telling you, you can run with these things. You can run injured, absolutely, as long as you don't permanently injure yourself and you know what you're doing, you can do it. So I had a chat with the physio before at the race. They have a physio and a masseur, and he looked and says, "Yeah, I think you're okay. We'll tape it up for you so that you're not putting too much strain on it. So you'll be taped up, and we'll give you a bit of a massage and make sure it's all nice and free." So we started the race knowing that my left hamstring was a bit iffy, taped up by the masseur, and you look, nurse. It literally said, "Nurse it round the race, nurse it round." He said, "You know when it's pushing it too far." I said, "Nurse it round." So I nursed the left leg round, and believe it or not, I got within about, I think we got to the 400 meters to the end sign, and hello, whoever it is, we got to the 400 meters before the end. And my right hamstring started doing the same. So I got 2 hamstrings just saying, you can't run too fast, mate. Yeah. But I wanted to sprint across the line with 200 yards to go. So 200 yards, I thought, do I try and sprint? I can sprint as long as I know that I'm not injuring the hamstring. Because if you injure them permanently, you're screwed. You're not going to be running again. So speeded up, and I heard the cheer as I started speeding up and trying to catch this bloke in front. I never did because I cut the gap by about half, and I just got about 50 yards from, well, probably even less than that, to the line. And I realized both hamstrings were now starting to say, you have to slow down now. And I had to bloody slow down with 50 yards to go. And I walked across the line. Oh, no, I jogged across the line. I stopped, and the guy there said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No." I pushed the hamstrings as far as I dare do it. Um, and this is where I say you can do this thing as long as you know what you're doing. Like the masseur said at the Gosport half marathon, the masseur said, "Look, yeah, do it. Just make sure that you nurse it around, and if you feel something, you hang back. You know, you're going to know when you're just nibbling away at it, and the hamstrings are just telling you, yeah, just be careful." He says, "You're okay at that point." He says, "It's when it starts to hurt." He said, "It taped me up, went round, and I managed to take off, I think, about 4 minutes from my previous time, which was good, especially considering that I'd been nursing around the course this hamstring on the left side, but to make the right side one go, the right side one went with about 400 yards to go, and I was like, damn it. So that was really good. The watch, what I will say about Garmin, it's really, really good. However, I wanted to use Pace Pro because I used Pace Pro on the first one and the second one. And it does give you a good idea. Every mile, it just gives you, right, okay, you plan to be doing this pace. And it just gives you, just tells you, bang, your new pace is bang. And then goes away. And I wanted to use it, but when I started the race, I just like, okay, start a half marathon. You've got to start it properly. And I must have started it differently because I started it and it just said, "Okay, ready to start, go." When I finished it, I'm sort of saving everything, and I accidentally went into run, and it says, "Would you like to start the Pace Pro?" I thought, well, I finished it now, So you've got to be very careful on how you do, and I'd probably try it a couple of times so you get the right button presses and the right, because I just went in, and I think I just clicked it for run, and then it says do the workout. Now the workout is the half marathon. So, but there's two things on the watch, and you've got to be very careful. The workout does not have the Pace Pro against it. The event has the Pace Pro against it. Gosport Half Marathon has a Pace Pro against the Gosport Half Marathon. The workout is running the Gosport Half Marathon. It didn't ask for the Pace Pro that was attached to it. So be very careful when you're running it, because don't expect straight away to go click run. It will tell me after a mile that what the Pace Pro say. It didn't, and I'm thinking, it's Pace Pro's not. I can't do anything now. I'm a mile in, so do be very careful. I would try it and make sure that you know which button to press, because I've got a feeling that what we need to do is not press start the buttons, the middle button to say what it is we're starting. Go down to workout, start workout. Do you want to start the Gosport Half Marathon? Yes, boom. And that's the wrong way of doing it. And I need to make sure I get it right. I got it right the first two times. The third time, I obviously didn't, and I pressed start the workout, and that's not the way to do it. So do make sure you get it right, because if you're wanting to run the Pace Pro like I wanted to do, it's essential that you make sure that it runs, because once you're in it, I was a mile in before I realized the Pace Pro wasn't working. So if you want to run the Pace Pro, it's not as simple as just attaching it to the event and then hoping that you just press go, run event, yes, and running it, because it didn't work. It didn't automatically attach the Praise Pro to it, which was a bit disappointing. But it wasn't in a way, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do that, because of 10 days before hurting you know, that left hamstring starting to tweak again was just annoying. And like, some people on here disliking my videos, saying, "Oh, you're not supposed to run when you're injured." No, bollocks. Sorry, I'm gonna get a warning for that now. You can run while you're injured, as long as you know your limits. And I knew my limit. I knew that that I could nurse it round, like the massage guy said. Yeah, I've taped you up, nurse it around, and you'll be okay. You'll get round, and you'll get round. You can get round in a decent time. I think it's not that bad. And I've given it a good massage, and it should be okay. As it feels okay, I'm sure you'll be able to get round in a decent enough time. And we did. And I was proud that I did it, and I was proud I beat last year's time, even being injured. There were times I was pushing it and thinking, I just want to get another few seconds out of this, and you knew that you couldn't do it. You just knew you couldn't do it. And there was one point, if you listen to the video, there's one point where I'm like, I'm fucking finishing this. And it was like the left hamstring was like, I don't know how far you're going to go, mate, but I'm starting to get knackered. Yeah? And it really did start to think with about, I was approaching the 9 mile barrier, and the GoPro was about to finish, die of lack of energy, like me. And both died at the same time going up the hill. And they both started to go at the same time. And I'm thinking, no, I am going to finish this. I'm going to finish it. And I'm going to let's just sit back and do a nice zone 2 all the way to the end. And, we're okay. Now, that was how we ran it. Did I do the right thing? Yes. Did I do the right thing in training? Now, that's an interesting one for you guys that are thinking, and girls that are thinking, should I have ran a little bit should I have done that calming down a little bit more? Because I'm old. I am a senior runner. I'm 59. Should I have reduced it even more? But Garmin Connect gave me 2 weeks of running it down. You could see physically on the if you look at the Garmin Connect's plan of your running, you could see it physically dropping the effort all the way from 2 weeks before. So I don't think I would have done it earlier. So I wouldn't have reduced the effort earlier. In hindsight, I probably would have. There's 1 or 2 of the last sprints that I probably did push a little bit too much. Because at that point, when you're doing your last sprint 2 weeks before the race, you're not going to gain much, if anything at all. So realistically, there was no real reason, no rhyme or reason to have pushed it that little bit. And I think it was that pushing it just a little bit too much 2 weeks before that sort of edged that the hamstring that I'd already pulled, remember, like a month before. So I'd injured it a month before. Pushing it again sort of a few weeks later, and it in one of these real high tempo sprint runs was just too much for it. And next time I'll learn from it. Next time it'll be, we're getting to 3 or 4 weeks before. If I hurt the hamstring now I'm okay. I can do a zone 2 all the way to the race, and it will be fine by the time I get to the race, and I'll be able to at least do a good time around the race. And I won't push it after. So if you get to, like I did, a week and a half, 2 weeks before the race, I in future I know I'm not going to push it with those sprints, because if you injure yourself in one of those sprints, you've only got 2 weeks to recover. And I literally had a week and a half. So it was actually about 10, 11 days before when it really went. And I'm thinking, darn it, I can't heal fully in 10 or 11 days. It's just not going to happen. Because the other way is just to not do anything, just sit there and not do anything and detrain. So it was, do I detrain and hopefully that the injury miraculously heals itself in a week? Or do I just keep doing a little tiny jog now and again, not very far, just a mile or two, keep on doing it at zone 2 and just keep sort of just moving the muscle so I'm not detraining quite. And I managed to do that, just kept off the detraining on the watch. It's like just above it. And like, yes, I'm okay. But, I get to the race and actually it had just stopped making itself noticeable. But I knew it was there, and I knew that it had only just started to not make itself known. So I knew I was a little bit of a push during that race, and it will come back, and it did. Because I was pushing myself. That's what I wanted to do, but I wanted to know, I wanted to be in control of it, and I was. So the race, the training just before, would I change it? I wouldn't change the race. I would change how much effort I did in those last sprints, because and I think it's important if you're listening to this bit, really important, if you get to a point where you've got a certain time span before the race or the run that you're doing, and you're thinking, if I injure myself now, I can just about recover for the race here, then fine, you can make a little bit of extra effort. But doing what I did, and 10 days, you're not going to recover in 10 days. I pushed it a little bit too, and I shouldn't have done, because I should have thought, look, what I've just had, 6 weeks before, I just lightly pulled my hamstring. Shouldn't really be risking it coming back, because hamstring is not going to fix within a week, 10 days. It almost did. I mean, I'll be quite honest, it almost did, but it didn't. So that's the one thing I would change. I would say I would make sure that when you get to that point where you're on a steady drawdown of your training, make sure that you're looking at the intensity of that training run that you're doing, and how far is it to the race, and thinking, if I was to do something silly and just push it a little bit too much and just tweak the hamstring like I did 10 days before, have I got enough time to recover before the race? Because I just pushed it a little bit too much 10 days before, and I should have known better, because 6 weeks before that, I'd hurt my hamstring and had to pull back quite severely to heal it. Doing a little bit of zone 2 running, but just enough to keep it moving and not detraining. And so I should have looked at that and thought, if I injure it now, I can't recover in 10 days. So that's the only thing I would change. The Garmin, I would certainly, if you are listening, who's just been on that, the Pro, the Pace Pro, I wanted to use that. Test it out beforehand. Because I didn't. I said start, and then I said run. Run the training. Yes, the training today is the Gosport half marathon. Yes, and I ran the Gosport half marathon, but it didn't attach the Pace Pro to the training. I should have said I want to run the event, because afterwards I clicked around and the event, click. Would you like to run the event with Pace Pro? Oh shit. That's where it is. So make sure try things out beforehand, because if I'd have really wanted to use that, and I didn't be so much because I was slightly injured, but had I not been injured, I would have been annoyed with that, even furious that I'd not tried it out and I've not made sure that when I clicked run, the Pace Pro started. I suppose one of the things you can do is, as you're running towards the line and you click, and you could possibly click run before you get there, and it should say, do you want to run Pace Pro? And then you click yes, and you can set off with the run again. So yeah, there's a point at which it asks you, do you want to do it with Pace Pro? And yeah, I think you have to go in via the event, not via the training. So you go event, do the event. Do you want to do it with Pace Pro? Yes, and you run it. Don't do it through the normal top right button and then it says run. Click the start for the run off, because you'll not get your Pace Pro. So you've got the training, the Pace Pro. The GoPro was absolutely phenomenal. Go and see the video. That was moving around something else on my chest. Absolutely was. And I thought, this is going to look really blurred. And it was crisp. It was precise. Like I said, the only thing with that is I think we would probably press stop a couple of times because it ran out of battery on 9.5 miles. And I managed to get a minute at the end. So if I want something of all of the race, including the finish, which obviously I want to see the finish, I'm going to have to reduce the frame rate, and I'm going to have to try and, as I'm get to a water stop, like I say, and press stop, and then just run, get to the last water stop, press start, and we finished the race. And I think that's probably the best bet, because otherwise, there is another option. You can actually slow the frame rate down even more and tell it that you're wanting to do one of these speed videos that quickly runs you all the way around the course, so you get to the end in like 30 seconds. So I could try that one as well. So I might be trying that one in future. I'm not quite that technical yet. If you know how to do that, then please put it in the comments. Absolutely, because using the GoPro to do these speeded up videos is something I think I should try, just to see how long, how much more length of time will it do, because obviously it's taking less frames per second. We'll stop it there. We have had a few people on. If you've got any questions, then please do ask them. I know we had 1 or 2 people in. Yeah, if you've got any questions about the GoPro, yeah, please do ask them. If you've got any questions on the 255, absolutely ask them. I'm getting quite good at the 255 now. The 45. My daughter's got the 45. I'm sure I can answer any questions on the 45 if you want them. I can always ask the daughter. And yeah, that's it. I always do what I say to you to do. My last video said, go out there and plan what you need to do for the following year. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to run? I've got a run I want to do. I think it's about June, July time. Just as the weather starts perking up a bit in the UK. It's not too far away. It is in a city, so it got a little bit more protection against the elements from the sea. So that's good. And I'm going to try booking myself on that. It's quite expensive. It's about 3 times more cost than the Gosport half marathon. The Gosport half marathon is about £29, I think. And I tell you what, it's well worth it. Half marathon for £29, and that's without being a member of a club. You get less. It's even less if you're a member of a club, an affiliated member. So do think about it. The Gosport half is flat, and you can actually see the whole course. It's 2 laps of the course. You'll see at least 1 lap in the video. Please do look at it. It's brilliant. I enjoyed it so much. But I was with my brother-in-law, and he starts too quick, and he said, "I don't like half marathons. I'm not. That's my last one." And he, yeah, because you run them wrong. It was pulling me along, and I thought, when he started to slow down, I just carried on going. I'm thinking, but I've gone too fast by now, and it's like really annoying. But I didn't go too fast. I still beat my time from last time. Still a good run. I hope you enjoy this. I really do. I hope people do carry on watching it, and I hope you do replay it. Do put any questions in the comments. I will see them, and I will try and respond to them. So if you've got any questions on the Garmin 255, put them in the question box. If you've got anything on the 45, I can always get an answer from the daughter on that one. She uses that one regularly. On the GoPro, yeah. If you've got any suggestions or any questions, then yeah, bounce them off me by all means, or tell me how to do things. I've asked for a few things. Yeah, if you know how to do them, please do tell me, or show me to a video that you've got. And I'll leave it at that. So thank you for joining me. All those people who have joined me, it's nice to see you on here. And all those people who replay it, because we do get quite a few people replaying it, especially from Indonesia and Malaysia, apparently. Welcome those people from Indonesia. Welcome those people from Malaysia. I hope you enjoy your running over there. And from Senior Runner, it's over and out. And like and subscribe.